opens up with Goldblum narrating, so how wrong can you go?
Right?
This generation's Planescape Torment. Oh Christ. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas when he wakes up with the Z carved on his forehead. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Retro Rents Retro Gaming Podcast. It is our 52nd episode, and it is a new year. It is 2020, and I am Al.
I'm Nick.
Man, it's good to be back. It was a crazy holiday, so we were still off by like a half a week or something, but yeah, you find when you're, married with kids, you basically have no life from December 20th until the 2nd. It's all, it's good stuff. It's all family stuff, but like there's just no time for anything else. You're just rushing around and shopping and all that great stuff.
All sorts of things.
All sorts of things. But how was your holiday, Nick?
Oh, it's very relaxing. As usual, went up to the Adirondacks. It's beautiful up there.
God, I miss it up there. That place is gorgeous. Yeah, his family owns a big cabin up there, and I used to go up with them a lot. But it is just a beautiful no man's land. This is the only way to put it, really. It's nice
pretty much, yeah.
Nice and sort of isolated, and just in the middle of the mountains. Did the internet get better up there yet?
Oh yeah. I'm onto cable now.
Oh, beautiful. That's great. Oh shit, we should have played some Bridge Commander. I would have had time for that. No, it's good. You had a good Christmas, see the family and stuff?
Absolutely, yeah. They're all doing good.
That's really good to hear, man. I'm glad everybody's good. Yeah, I mean, pretty much same deal here. I took about a week and a half off from work and just spent time with my family, really. We, the girls are all at a great age to where we can really get into the whole Santa thing. And, I mean, it's
nice.
A lot of fucking work, man. I mean, I did a good amount. My wife just, like, she goes all out for these girls just to make it, like, magical and cool and, like, I mean, to the point where we got this cool thing where it was, like, a letter from the North Pole and a stencil where you can make, like, flower boot prints, by your door so it looked like snow, and it was cool.
How clever.
Yeah, it was neat, like, They went nuts. They had a great Christmas. They got all kinds of crap that we have no room for. So it was nice. And but I got one of my favorite presents I think I've ever gotten.
What is that? I
got a Bluetooth digital electric smoker by Masterbuilt. So it's a lot to say, but really what it is, it's an electric smoker. Has a main element for heating on the bottom, and that's mainly to, heat the whole thing, but also heat your wood chips to get them, smoking. Then there's a top element to broil, if you want, which is kind of fancy. That's the first time I've seen that. But where this really wins is it's got built-in meat probes for temperature. But the best part is there's an app you get on your phone, hooks into the smoker via Bluetooth, and I can sit from my couch and monitor, temperature is at X internally. The main piece of meat or whatever is X degrees in the center. And I basically just put the chips in. After soaking them, put in some wood chips. We did some chicken breast tonight. I did a little mix of apple and pecan wood chips. And, oh man, let me tell you. Yeah, you just do that, and you mainly do that for the smoke. The elements handle the heat. The best part with the electric is it keeps it at a constant heat. For anybody that has kind of the old school non-electric smokers, you really have to kind of babysit it quite a bit. And there's a kind of a juggling act of water and wood to make sure that the temperature's at a certain amount, charcoal. Really, it's a royal pain in the ass, and I had one originally, and I just got tired of the the work involved. I'm lazy, but this thing is like, this is my speed, man. I've been on a smoking binge. I made first thing I did was a brisket. Came out okay. Not my best work, but I hit brisket stall, and my family was starving. For those who smoke, you know what brisket stall is. but it's basically your meat will hit about 150 degrees and then stop. And it needs to hit about, for brisket, I think like 205. And it'll stop for a couple hours. Like, it just won't heat up because like the fats and the gelatins are doing all kinds of shit that I don't want to get into. But it just kind of counterbalances the heat. So other stuff doesn't do that. Like I can do a chicken in a couple hours, like a big roaster chicken. And we did that already. Like it's awesome stuff, man. So yeah, needless to say, great present. I made chicken. I made smoked mac and cheese. I made like I said, smoked chicken breasts. We did tonight. We did brisket. I mean, I got plans, man. I'm gonna do smoked cabbage. That's on my list. So yeah, what was your coolest present, Nick?
I don't know. I didn't get anything, super big. It was just, for me, it's just more relaxing with the family and chill.
Sure. Yeah, no, I get it. You're one of those. No, but like, did you treat yourself at all to something or?
I did treat myself to some new VR games. So I got some ones on the line. Rogan, which is like a Rogue VR game. I haven't played it yet. I'm going to see if I can't kick it off on Monday. But I've been looking forward to playing. You
need to let me know if that's good.
Will do.
Because I love Rogue games.
Yeah, it's like Rogue. It's like, kind of fantasy, medieval setting. It's like, yeah, sign me.
Yes. That sounds great. What have you been playing overall, VR wise, or just anything really?
Still marching my way through Red Dead. The miles of
how you liking it?
I'm loving it. Oh, it's great. It's easily to get lost in it.
Yeah, it is. It's easy. Just like I'm gonna go hunting today. I'm gonna go fishing.
Exactly. I'm actually playing through Hitman 2 finally.
Oh, I haven't played that yet. I played the first one. I had a blast. Sorry,
yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy.
I love these stealth games. So the Assassin's Creed, the Splinter Cell stuff. So like Hitman is right up the alley. And
Hitman's a whole nother level of stealth, though.
Oh yeah, and I love the fact that there's so many ways to like handle a target. Like some other games kind of dabble this a little bit, but usually it's like you can shoot them with a pistol or you can hand to hand. Whereas like Hitman's like you can poison them, you can rig the thing to blow up, and do this, that, and the other. Drop a statue on them.
Yeah, I forget what mission it was in the first Hitman series, but it was like you were infiltrating a party. And I disguised as the bartender and poisoned the guy's drink.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, it allows for that really good way of like replayability. Whereas like the other games, like you kind of play through it, and it's like, okay, I played the level, I really don't want to play this again. Whereas this was like, okay, I want to do it this time, but this time I'm gonna do instead of X, I'm gonna do Y.
Yeah, and you're not over exaggerating. There's easily like 5 or 6 different ways on average to go through a mission.
Right.
It's a very well done game. I haven't played the second, so I don't know if you played the first, but it's just as fun, it sounds like.
I have not. I think I've dabbled in it, like played it at someone's house or whatever. But yeah, so Hitman 2 I think is my first actual jump into it.
Oh, good.
But I kind of know the background a little bit. But yeah, it's just like it's total.
Nice. And so that and any other VR hits that stole your heart this season?
So I think, what was it? The last one I played that I really enjoyed, and it's actually on my list a little later, is I Expect You to Die.
Oh, isn't that great?
I love it so much, especially if you're a fan of like the old
James Bond baby.
Yeah, it's like you play James Bond, and the evil overlord is trying to kill you in very ingenious ways.
Awesome ways.
And you have to escape the whatever the contraption, sharks with lasers, and it's just absolute fun. It's not that much of a complicated game, but it is so fun and clever, and like how you have to interact and figure things out.
Yeah, it's. I mean, once you figure out the puzzle, yeah. But then that's another one. There's like 1 or 2 different ways you can do certain things. Yeah, and that's a very, very creative game though. I had a lot of fun with that. It was one of the first things I played on VR when I borrowed Luke's headset way back.
Oh, nice! Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. Cool. What were you watching over the holiday, or should I ask?
So of course, finished up The Mandalorian. Oh,
best
baby.
Star Wars ever. Like Star Wars anything.
Yeah, it's like cannot wait for season 2. I'm bummed that we have to wait all the way till fall. And I'm hoping they maybe do some long, not to say longer. Well, longer episodes would be nice because I think some of these were like maybe only half hour to 45 minutes. But maybe a longer running season, because I think this is only 8 episodes. I think.
Yeah, I have another complaint about a series that did long episodes, and I just want more and more. We'll get there.
Like, can we get more, please, in season 2, please? But yeah, so good. Cannot wait to see where they take.
Yeah, I loved the story. Pedro Pascal won my heart as an actor in Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. I thought he was fantastic. That was the first time I'd seen him. I caught him in Narcos after that. And I think he's fabulous. And him as the Mandalorian, I put him on a same tier now with people like Edward Norton, where Edward Norton played a similar masked role in Kingdom of Heaven. One of my favorite Ridley Scott movies with Orlando Bloom, Liam Neeson, and Edward Norton played a leper king. And he wore a mask the whole time, and all you saw was his eyes. Right. And, he was able to convey emotion, feeling. And I remember saying that is one of the best actors I've ever seen, where, you know what that character's expressing and feeling behind a mask. And I put Pedro Pascal a step above that, because you couldn't even see his eyes.
Yeah, it was like nothing.
And, you just had his vocal inflections, his movements, and he just brought a style. I always thought Han Solo had the suave badass style. Dude, Mando would whoop his ass up and down the road all the way to the bank. Yeah, it was a very well done series. The writing was so good.
Oh yeah, spot on.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those. I love space westerns. It's one of my favorite genres. I love reading it in books, and I did not expect that in a Star Wars setting. And it's why? That's the perfect setting.
Yeah.
And this just shows you, how perfect it is. It is, when you count all the movies, the fiction, the books, and I've read many of it. This is my favorite, man. I had so much fun in this world. I can't wait for season 2. But, yeah, I watched that as well. On the gaming front, I played a lot of VR. Again, with the Rift that I got from Glovebox. Mm-hmm. I've really I've been almost 100% addicted to VR games at this point. Sorry. My favorite right now, hands down, is Asgard's Wrath.
Yes.
One of the best games I've played in a long time, much less best VR games I've ever played. It is exactly like we were talking about where I was kind of suspecting what it was. It is that game where you're like, oh my god, this is what I've been wanting to play on VR. This is the world I want to inhabit. This is that thing I can't experience in real life, and I've got it here, and it's just so well done. I was trying to explain it to somebody, and it's this is the Skyrim for VR, although there's VR for that, and it's pretty damn good, too. But yeah, it's really awesome. It's all Norse mythology, obviously, and you basically play an up-and-coming god, and you're building up, a worship, I can't think of that, your own religion, basically. Mm-hmm. And you start out as a god of animals, and you get one follower, and that becomes there's 2 modes to the game. There's the god mode where you can pick animals up off the ground and possess them or recreate them to become warriors for you, or help with a puzzle or something. But then there's another one where you can go to an altar and you control your follower. And in the first part of the game that I just beat at the first major boss fight against the god Tyr, she she's basically just a badass shield maiden. Looks very similar to Senua. Or Senwa. But, yeah, so there's that mode where you're possessing them and you're basically playing, in first person inside their body. And just, like, the sword fighting, and then there's, like, axe, you got an axe that you could throw, and it's like, something out of Hercules where you flick your wrist back and the axe comes flying back to your hand. It's wicked fun. It's really, really well done. It's one of the best games I've played in a while. The story's great. The world exploration is just... I can't get enough of it. I've been playing it almost exclusively. And I started playing Beat Saber the other day. I just got that because I figured you could play... I heard you could play the Witcher song, which the show I'm obsessed with.
According to your Witcher.
Yes. I haven't done it yet, but I'm ready to. And then, actually, the other game I have 2 games I've devoted time to over the holiday outside of VR. The one, my pal Josh in the Save Point got me for my birthday, actually, and I was very appreciative. He picked me up Jurassic World Evolution.
Oh, yeah. That
is a great game. At first, I just thought it was going to be a gimmicky builder game with dinosaurs. But, there's a shit ton of depth to this game that I was really, really surprised about. Just a lot of cool systems and tons of stuff to unlock and a really great story. And the production values are through the roof. Basically, anyone that's ever had a part in Jurassic Park has a voice part in it somewhere. It opens up with Goldblum narrating, so how wrong can you go?
Right?
And he has several, spots where, like, he'll interject with the people showing you how to build things, and he's like, oh, yes. And next comes the running, screaming, dying. And,
ooh, ah.
Yeah. So it's a very good game. I recommend it. I've had a lot of fun with it, and I look forward to playing more. But the other one if I had to say, like, VR in this game, I've basically taken 50% and 45% of my time, the other 5% being Jurassic Park, is The Witcher 3. Because I, like probably so many people, started watching The Witcher on Netflix at the beginning of the holiday, and I pretty much finished it 3 days later. I will say, for all the praise I gave The Mandalorian, The Witcher is probably my favorite series of 2019, hands down. Henry Cavill absolutely nailed it as Geralt. I was a little skeptical at first, because it's like, the previews obviously didn't show you much, and I just know him from Superman, so I was like, well, maybe. No, he's perfect. He's absolutely perfect for the role, and right around the same time I started watching that, I started reading the books, and I didn't realize that the series was kind of taking a lot from the book I was reading, which was The Last Wish, so I was reading The Last Wish, and a night before, I was reading the Striga fight, where he goes and cures the Striga. And, Striga, whatever. And the next day, I watched episode 3, and it was that fight, and I'm like, okay, obviously it's not 100%, but this is almost damn near word for word from the book, and holy shit, this is awesome. So yeah, I mean, if you're one of the few that have not seen The Witcher yet, it's great. Production values, awesome. Special effects, awesome. I think the bigger battles that they show in it are on par or better than Game of Thrones. I mean, really, Game of Thrones didn't even show that many big battles. But it's one of those, I think Witcher had more in Season 1 than Game of Thrones did most of its run for, like, big battles and stuff. It was just very well done. And so that got me on to playing The Witcher 3. And I'm going through that pretty hardcore. I was going to try to be completionist about it, but I just don't find Gwent that entertaining, so I'm just skipping that whole part. But yeah, playing a lot of The Witcher 3, and it just reminds me again why I picked that game on the Bad Fodder Figures cast for my game of the decade. That is a phenomenal game. You've played that, absolutely. I assume, right?
Oh, yeah. I haven't finished it, but I made a good chunk through it. And yeah, it's just like, that's another game where, yeah, if you try to do everything, or it's another one easy to like, oh, look, a penny, and suddenly you're off on this side quest to like nowhere.
Yeah, and it's great, and like they're great. What I love about The Witcher 3 is the quests even what seems like the smallest side quests are so intricate in the storytelling, and they're fun, and it's like dark usually and messed up, you know. And it's like, I remember just wandering into a random village, and they're like, "Hey, we're hunters are going missing in the woods," and like I go out in the woods, and you know, this girl comes by, and or no, this guy said his wife was missing. She went to pick berries in the woods. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, I know that one. Yeah,
the werewolf one, and it turns into this whole thing, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
You're like, this is going deeper than I thought it would.
And that's pretty much like the way all the quests are. There's just like a deeper step than you'd expect it to take. And it's the open world game for me, man. I love Red Dead 2. It's one of the best open world games, but man, Witcher always has my heart in that area so far. And that's saying that the other reason I wanted to play it again is I never played through the DLC that I bought. And the 2 DLC packs and that are supposed to be massive. So, yeah, it's like Blood and Wine, and then there's another one, but they're supposed to be huge, and they're supposed to be fantastic. Like, it's supposed to be just as good, if not better. So, yeah, I'm working my way through that. I'm eager to play it and beat it. But all right, that's what we've been watching, what we've been playing. Again, if you haven't seen The Witcher by now, get fucking Netflix and go watch that. It's incredible. And the books, I just want to say again, I highly recommend the books. What I'm loving so far, at least with The Last Wish, is a lot of it is just short stories, kind of like the Witcher contract quests you get in Witcher 3. It's like, you know, it's a monster contract, or it's, you know, some kind of whatever. It's usually something along those lines where they're almost like episodic chapters, and it makes for a very fun read, and it's great to just read in a clip and then, you know, go to sleep or whatever. But yeah, it's very good writing. I hear the author's a bit of a dickhead, but that's not going to stop me from reading the books. He's another one that's like gone completely Christopher Tolkien. Yeah, the movies are horrible and the game's horrible.
Everything's horrible.
And he's like, I read he's like really bitter that he sold the game rights to CDPR for you know, not a lot of money, but you know, I look at it back then when they were gonna make Witcher 1, and like, yeah, you know what? I can understand his perspective. It sucks. Had he made a better deal, he'd be completely rich. But it's one of those, like, nobody knew The Witcher outside of Poland. No, right. Not many, I'll say.
It was a coulda, woulda, shoulda moment, so to speak.
And he probably thought he was going to make, that was the only money he was going to make on it. And it's like, dude, you know, don't be bitter. Just, you know, that was like a 1 in a billion shot in the dark. But
yeah. Really, I don't think CD Projekt Red had done anything notable before that. So I mean, even they were kind of unknowns.
No, what they did before that, because I watched, and if you haven't seen this before, I highly recommend it. I mentioned No Clip on here many times. No Clip documentaries on YouTube by Danny McGuire. Danny did a really great, like, history documentary of CD Projekt Red, and like went to Poland and interviewed Marcin and interviewed, you know, many of the big players there. And they basically do a retrospective all the way from Witcher 1 through Witcher 3 and the making of all those games and how CDPR started out. And it's a really awesome look at, in the beginning, the gaming market in Eastern Europe at the time, because it was like right before the fall of the wall. So like, you know, Poland didn't really have a concept of copyright back then.
Right.
So like there'd be a radio show, hey, put your cassette tapes in and record at 11 p.m. Tonight, and we'll play, you know, the code for a game for 2 hours so that you can take it out and play it in your computer. But they wound up, they started out doing translations, Polish translations, because nobody did Polish translations. They started out, I think they did one for like an Ace Ventura game, and that basically got them some cred. And then they wound up making a deal where they translated Baldur's Gate. And that's what basically put them on the map. It sold a bunch of copies because they did Polish translations, Polish voice acting, and it really took off for them. And then, you know, of course, then starting GOG, you know, then they have that revenue coming in as well. But, yeah, no, great documentary. Highly recommend it. So, yeah, I mean, it was a shot in the dark, dude. Like, you can't be bitter over that. It just happens, you know?
Right.
I'm sure Tolkien would have a fucking stroke if he knew how much he would have made had he not let the movie rights go for nothing. You just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You never know.
I do, and if I write a book, I'm going to make sure I have a percentage in there somewhere. But,
go the George Lucas route.
Yeah, right. I don't know. You never know. But anyway, so yeah,
Toys.
Exactly. So that's what we've been watching. That's what we've been playing. We're gonna do the show a little bit differently tonight. Normally, we're going to release highlights, or we'll talk some news. There has been news that's happened over the past couple of weeks, and I don't know. Really, like it's the closing of the year. It's a new year now. I'd really like to just look back on 2019 in retrospective and talk about some of our favorite games of 2019 or games that we played in 2019. And Nick, let's start with you. What were some of your favorites?
Sure. So these aren't in any particular order. Definitely, I think the ones at the top are like, they stood out to me the most, but there's no particular order, like one, no one is number one versus number 10 type of thing. But to kick off, The Outer Worlds.
Such a good game.
Obsidian, I want to say it came out of nowhere, like, because I think we had about a year heads up notice. Like, I think it was like last year's E3, they kind of teased it. And that was like the first it like made the radar, at least that I can remember.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, Obsidian. Oh, they're making it like a space game.
Oh,
they're making a space Fallout style game. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like they followed through with everything they were putting out. And it's like, and it is exactly what I was expecting, exactly what I was looking for. And it really hit the nail on the head. And I felt like it needed to happen, especially after the debacle of Bethesda at the end of 2018. And really continued into 19 for like all the crap that they kept trying to do with Fallout 76. It's just like, oh, come on. Is the Fallout genre, so to speak, gone? Is it dead?
Have you killed it?
Have you killed it outright? But Obsidian came swinging for the fences, and I believe they knocked it out of the park. Definitely worth picking up and playing if you haven't already. I think it's on the Microsoft Game Pass.
It is on Game Pass, yeah.
Yeah,
so for both computer and Xbox One.
And Xbox, yeah, exactly. So an easy way to pick that up if you have that. Highly recommend putting on your playlist. If not, if you don't have that subscription, either a great time to pick it up or just outright buy the game. Like, it's absolutely worth it.
Totally.
Next up, Metro Exodus PC. It finally, so I think it really released on consoles first.
I think so.
And then
yeah, I think so.
And then then it's like February. It arrived on PC, I believe, if I'm remembering my history.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're correct.
So I'm putting in this year. So Metro Exodus is definitely where they it also had its first DLC come out this year for sure. I think it was in the fall or so. And still a lot of fun all around. Beautiful game. So it's one of those, like, you pick it up and play really, I'd say almost for the graphics, although the story is pretty good, and the plays a lot of fun for an FPS.
Also on PC Game Pass as well.
Perfect. Well, there you go. Another one to add the tick mark to the PC Game Pass.
Yep.
Of course, can't leave this out. Obviously, it came out on consoles last year, but we were waiting for the port, and it finally came out this year. Red Dead 2.
Just
absolutely,
gorgeous.
It's like just get it. Just get it.
just get it. I mean, and I say this as somebody who played it through almost 100% on console. Again, it's one of the few games I've actually gone out of the way to be kind of completionist on. Mm-hmm. Get it on PC. Like, it is so visually stunning. Like, they make that in VR, I'll never leave my office.
Give it, like, that's it. Plug me into the Matrix.
Yeah, like, just plug me in and give me food through a straw. I gotta go hunt some buffalo. It's awesome. Totally agree.
I'm gonna jump around my list a little bit,
sure.
But I'd say another one that is definitely worth playing. This was free on the Epic Store, is how I ended up playing this one. I don't know if it's still freely available, but definitely worth checking out. Is the not to be confused with Outer Worlds, but The Outer Wild,
also on Game Pass.
Also in Game, perfect. And not add that check mark on there. That this is a very, very charming game.
It's wild. I hate to say that, but like,
and there's a documentary out on YouTube. Highly recommend. Like after playing the game,
also a no clip documentary, I believe, by Danny McGuire.
Oh, is it? Okay, yeah. So I ended up watching that like the other week. I'm like, oh, it's like I played this game. Let me watch this documentary, and it feels in so much of like how this game came to be about, and makes so much more sense of like, oh, okay, this, because it's so creative. I want to say it felt very unique in the way it told the story, and how the game plays. But yeah, just like kind of a revolution for what I would call a puzzle genre. And again, such a charming little game that there's no combat or anything, nothing like scary is going to jump, more or less jump out at you. But definitely worth checking out in my book.
Yes, and just to confirm, if you liked that documentary, Nick, just click the creator of that. That's a no clip, and go watch his entire series on CDPR.
Sweet. It's a great little documentary too. So yeah, I'll probably go back and do that.
Danny is a fantastic interviewer. Like I can't push him enough. Like he has enough cred. Obviously, I've known Danny a while in the business, but like his documentaries are just incredible. He gets such great interviews, and I haven't watched the Outer Wild ones yet, and I plan to because like that is one of the most unique games I've played in a while too. Just story wise, very interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Absolutely, no, you're good. Next up, I think technically it's still in beta, but through, at least, again, I have it on the Epic Store, is Satisfactory. So if you like building games and getting lost just building things, so this is, like, well, I wouldn't even put it like on the same level as Ark, because there are really not that many baddies to deal with. But if you've ever played like Factorio, this is the 3D version of it, or FPS version of it. It is so fun just like to build your factory, and like, and there's all sorts of crazy stuff. Everyone has like these super efficient builds. Others have like, I'm going to cover the entire planet with my factory. Another great, like just, one of those games where you look, you start playing and you look up and it's like suddenly 3 a.m. You're like, what the?
That's why I've avoided picking that up. My boss has played that a bunch, and he's like, I just lost half my night to Satisfactory. I'm like, I'm not picking that game up.
Yeah, and it's so fun. And they're still doing constant updates. I think the last one, it's been a couple months since the last one, but the last one put in trains of all things, so you can eventually work your way up to trains. I think trains and nuke power, which is pretty hilarious. So I'm eager to see where what else are they going to add to that. I think they're working on like environmentally friendly energy. So I think they're putting in like windmills, and I think hydroelectric is coming up next.
Very interesting.
So and again, I think it's still technically it's basically like a working beta / early release in mode right now.
Access kind of deal. I'll check that out.
Exactly. But again, worth. I think it's worth picking up. It's a cool chill game. It's like you're just looking to like very chill play. That's the one to do it. Moving into the VR side of things. Now all these games, it's more brought about the fact that I started playing VR this year. So for me, this is my VR year. So I'm catching up on a lot. So a lot of the ones that stood out to me were surprisingly all from 2016. So I mentioned I Expected to Die. That actually came out in 2016.
That's great.
Another one that came out this year, again on the Viveport Infinity, is free. Is Super Hot VR.
Oh, game is so fun.
Like you want to feel like Neo in the Matrix plays Super Hot VR. That's exactly what that experience felt like.
Yep.
And it was so fun, such a workout too, because especially if you really get into it, it is a ton of fun. And then the third VR game I have on my list here is Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Man, I had so much fun playing that with you the other day.
The quintessential Star Trek experience, I would say.
Yeah, it's especially like I know it came out on consoles. Like, no, it doesn't. That would not work. It's really meant for a VR forum to give you that look and feel of being on a bridge, and you got to play with somebody else. Like Nick sat in the captain's chair. I did weapons control. I tried engineering and got lost, but it was. Like, it felt like being on the ship, and, like, you couldn't help but get into it. Like, we're sitting there, and before you know it, we're, like, talking like a bridge crew, and it's, like, got that, Acquiring target. Go to red alert. Like, yeah, this is great.
I think our red alert's broken. Yeah, it's definitely now. The catch is with Star Trek Bridge Crew. You can play it by yourself, but it really is tough. Rewarding team game. Like, you want to play it with other people. That's where you have the most fun with it. Again, it's been out since 2016, so it's been around the block. But for me this year is like, oh, I could finally play it. I never picked it up on PC. Again, you could play it on console and PC. As the regular version if you really wanted to, but I never did because it's like, okay, it's like, if I get this, I want to have a VR system.
Yeah, it's a VR game.
Yeah, and man, that immersion is just 100% on that, and totally awesome. I'd love to see maybe an expansion where it's like not only could you do bridge stuff, but maybe like beam down to the planet and do like away missions cool. Eventually. It probably wouldn't be part of that game, but that would be the next evolution.
Star Trek Ground Crew.
To the bridge crew. Yeah, Ground Crew. Yeah, there you go. There's a DLC. Do it. Or I think it was Ubisoft. Yeah, Ubisoft did that. I think.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah. So there's that. Last two worthy. I'd say worthy pickups. Borderlands 3 it's more Borderlands action. If you enjoy Borderlands, it's a worthy successor. A lot of fun with that. Just crazy guns everywhere. And the Diablo 2-esque, or I said 2, but Diablo-esque style. Constantly advancing your character with equipment and whatnot. Lastly, it is making the list. The Division 2.
Yep.
I was surprised by this because I had played the demo, like the beta weekend, or I say beta weekend. It was basically that pre-launch free weekend that they do. Absolutely, like I did not like it in Div 1. Like, I played that, I'm like, no, this game is not for me. And yeah, that thing went down in a fire blaze of glory, apparently. But it's like, you know what? I'll try out Div 2, and I actually enjoyed it a whole lot more.
Me too.
Like, either they got the balance down or what, but it was actually a lot more enjoyable playing Division 2 than it was 1 for some reason. So it actually made my list this year.
No, it was a good game. Absolutely. That's awesome. Any other titles you want to go over?
So you want me to go on the next section, or
you know what? I'll do my top played real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for my 2019, number 1 is Disco Elysium. I'm still working my way through that. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, another longtime gamer and RPG lover. Yeah, my friend Brandon and we both said the same thing kind of at the same time. I was kind of thinking that this game is, and then he follows up with, this generation's Planescape Torment. This is one of those, it's going to be just like that game was. It's going to be on top lists when they talk about, like, the best RPGs. Not necessarily open world, but just, like, story RPGs. For the same things that made Torment awesome. This came out of nowhere. This was like in October, I think. And it's just wild. It's an RPG of like not dystopian because it's not Fallout, but it's like almost Blade Runner-esque where not even the corporation, you're basically, it feels like a communist society. But it's not. It's nowhere, real world at all. But it feels like, somewhere in Eastern Europe. And, like, instead of fighting, you do a lot of stuff in conversation. Again, very similar to Planescape Torment. And it depends on your skills. There's, like, 3 different classes where one, you're, like, a sensitive, where you can pick up on people's emotions, even their thoughts if you have skill in that. But you risk going insane. And like literally the skills that you have will start talking to you during conversation, and you kind of figure out which one to use based on like which one is like, no, she wants you, man. Like if you have a skill that's like, I think it was like suave or something like that, or personality, something along the lines like personality and suave, and he's like, no, she wants you. She definitely wants you. You need to push a little harder and get a little flirty. And it was just like, wow, like, I've never played anything like this. It's really unique. Like, the only thing I could compare it to is Planescape. So check it out. if you like those kind of RPGs, it's great. I mean, it literally starts out, you create your character, and then you wake up in a hotel in your underwear, like, Christ, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, when he wakes up with the Z carved on his forehead. Like, the hotel room is completely trashed. You're practically naked. There's a spilled bottle by your head, and you're hunched over on the floor. Yeah. And that's how it starts. You're basically a drunk cop. It's great. So yeah, check it out. Next on my list, Death Stranding. I loved it. I'm just about done with it, I think. I gotta play it more, but, other stuff's got my time right now, but I will go back and finish it. It is the ultimate in Kojima weirdness. It's a great game. I said before, I think it's not for everybody, but I really think if you like Kojima, you'll love this. So just go pick it up if that's your thing. Like Nick, I also chose The Outer Worlds. I think that was the sleeper hit of 2019. One of the best games. Obsidian, I'm not surprised, just knocks it out of the park again. Pillars of Eternity was great. Pillars of Eternity 2 was great. And they just handled this with the same care, I think.
Absolutely.
And I give them a lot of credit. It's not a long game, and I don't think it was meant to be. And it was just done, it was one of those games that was perfection for the year. I really think so. Next for me is Fire Emblem Three Houses. It was one of the first games I got on Switch this year when I got my Switch finally. I haven't beaten it yet, but I'd say I'm about 50% through it. It is a great game if you like Fire Emblem. But it's kind of like mixed, because you're at an academy, so it's kind of like Fire Emblem and Harry Potter, which is really cool. Yeah, good game, great strategy, good challenge, highly recommend it. It was a great game for 2019. One of my top ones that has kind of slipped under the radar, because there's been so many great releases since, but Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, by the same creator that did Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Same kind of game. Very similar style, and it was awesome. Like, if you liked Symphony of the Night, you're gonna love Bloodstained. And that is also on Game Pass now. So, another reason to get Game Pass. Highly recommend that game. It's a ton of fun. Next on my 2019 list, Total War 3 Kingdoms. If you like the Total War games, which I love, I know Nick and I are both big fans of that series. The 3 Kingdoms game that came out this year is just another great game that takes place during the Romance of the Three Kingdoms period in China. So medieval Chinese warfare, thousands of units on the field, and just death, destruction, espionage, and all that great stuff. It's just another great game in that series, and I loved it. Also on my list is Division 2. Kind of for the same reason as Nick, I hated the Division 1. I was on their opening weekend as well. I played it a little bit longer than that, maybe the next couple of weeks, and I just thought it was unbalanced garbage. Division 2 definitely was much better. Enjoyed playing that a lot, just with like the pickup from like random players jumping in and helping out, and it felt relatively fair through most of it. I mean, I did pretty good soloing a lot of it, playing with Luke or some other people. And I basically got up to the point where then you go and do it all over again for the Black Tusks, and I was like, nah, fuck that. I did it once, I'm done. Next on the list was one I remember Captain Mike and I were talking about from the previous E3, which was Void Bastards. That's another Game Pass pickup, kinda, sorta Borderlands-y in graphics. Kind of faster than light meets Borderlands, maybe a good way to put it. Like you're scavenging ships and parts and stuff like that, and going through space, and then like you go into a ship and it's like first person combat stuff. That was a very fun game. Again, if you have Game Pass, that's absolutely worth a grab. The next one is a Switch game that I still obsess with randomly, and that is Tetris 99. If you like Tetris, it's Tetris meets Fortnite, where you're playing against 99 other people playing Tetris, and you basically select one of them, and as you make lines, it adds lines to their game. So as you're making it further and further up the ladder, people start smacking on you, and it's tough. I think the highest I ever made it was 18. but it's a lot of fun. It's competitive Tetris done right. It was a real knockout of the park for Nintendo. And if you have whatever their online service is, if you just buy that, you get Tetris 99 with it, and it's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it based on that. It was a great game. And then finally, to end my list, this will be my 10th game. 1 second. Is Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. I did not play Destiny 2 at release. I picked it up when Shadowkeep released after hearing a couple of friends who loved Destiny 1 but did not like Destiny 2. And they picked that up and they're like, oh wow, this game is really great now. So I picked it up and I played with them, and I probably obsessed over this game for a solid month, which is good for me. A lot of times games don't keep my attention for that long unless they're really, really good. And it was one of the more fun experiences I had. It's one I still pick up now and then just to jump on and squad up with friends. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, that's my top 10 for the year. Oh, and why did I not put this on there? I thought I did. Well, I'll take out, let's see. I'll take out Destiny 2 and put Asgard's Wrath in there, because that did come out in 2019. Again, I put that up there as one of the best games I've ever played. Cannot recommend it enough if you have VR. And, yeah. That is my 2019 list. Anything you are still looking forward to playing, Nick?
So one that I'm looking still want to play, Ace Combat 7. That came out way the very beginning of the year. I haven't got around to that yet, but that's still on my list. Sekiro's Shadows Die Twice, from the makers of Dark Souls. Eventually try bashing my head against that at some point. Cuphead. Wow,
talking about bashing your head and then going to the next game and then smashing your head against concrete again.
It's like apparently I want to be a masochist and just torture myself.
Kyle will tell you, we love Cuphead. That game is so fucking hard, dude.
It's like yeah. I want to eventually get around to that. Like you mentioned, love the Total War series. I've yet to get around to Three Kingdoms. Definitely want to do that at some point. So that's on my list of still want to play those. A game called Control. I think it came out up to back. That looked like total mystery, but it's getting rave reviews and it looks awesome. So it's like, okay, I want to play this. Play this at some point. Jedi Fallen Order. Getting like nothing but rave reviews about it. And everyone who plays it really enjoys it. So it's like, okay, yeah. And I think there's some DLC slated with this year now.
Yeah, I have it on my EA Premiere. I've got to play that.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna wait probably for the DLC to drop, and then I'll probably actually look into it. Maybe by that point it'll be discounted, and get it, check it out at that point. But yeah, it's still on my list. Another one that is more story driven, Plague Tale,
also on Game Pass.
Awesome, yeah. And it looks intriguing. Again, it looks like a great little story.
Yeah,
I say charming game, but it's the Plague. But just from the small previews that I've seen, when I was like, ooh, I want to check this out, play this. This looks really, really good. Next, Rebel Galaxy Outlaw.
You got to play that, brother.
I know. I played the first Rebel Galaxy. Loved the hell out of that. Obviously, this is I say completely different game. Still made by the
Rebel
same
Galaxy
people.
Privateer.
Yeah, Privateer. I'd highly recommend playing that too. That's still a lot of fun. But made by the same people. But definitely want to check out Outlaw because it looks like that classic return to that kind of Wing Commander / XVT.
This is Wing Commander Privateer though.
Yeah. And kind of checking it out that way. So again, it's on the list. And then most recently, I definitely want to be picking this up.
Yeah, I want to get this
VR.
too.
Boneworks looks crazy fun. Has very Half-Life vibe. So definitely want to check it out. I haven't seen too many reviews about it per se, but I think from what I have seen, it seems fairly positive.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow that one too. Looks cool.
And then games looking forward to in 2020. Obviously, from E3, we had a ton. Like everything's coming out this year now. So
no, there's a ton of.
Yeah. Still waiting on Star Citizen, but I think I'm going to be diving more into that. They recently released their newest what's called Microtech, I think it was. but it's like very detailed, like planetary. It's hard to describe. How do they? I'm feeling words are failing like how like what it is, but basically it makes everything look a whole lot better in the way that like the environment interacts and whatnot.
Okay.
And supposedly by the end of the year we'll have a beta for Squadron 42, which is what I'm really looking forward to. That's their single player portion of Star Citizen. So we'll see if they're able to keep to that. Obviously, it's always constantly being pushed back, but supposedly this year we'll see some beta for Squadron 42. So not hold my breath, but we'll see. So it's still on my list.
I hear the first DLC is coming out in 2021 called Have You Retired Yet? Have you retired yet?
It's been 84 years. I can finally play Star Citizen. Looking forward to the Final Fantasy VII remake. I think that's scheduled for the springtime.
I think it's March.
Yeah, so that sounds right. Looking forward to it. It makes the game look fantastic. And funny enough, I have never actually played Final Fantasy VII yet.
Get the fuck.
I know, right? I've played 6. I've played 8. I haven't played 7 yet. So this may be my first actual foray into actually playing the game. And again, it looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, you might as well wait.
2 discs. There's 2 discs, I think, and the first disc is supposed to be or I say disc, but the part 1 is supposed to be like a prequel, I think, to what actually happened with the PlayStation game when it first came out, and then part 2 is the actual, kind of remade, Final Fantasy VII that everyone knows and loves from the original PlayStation.
They better not Star Citizen me on this shit.
Oh, you gotta wait till next year. Another one that caught my eye at E3, and I think this is a PS4 exclusive, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, that game looks great.
So this looks totally awesome, very samurai, game. I'm intrigued by it. Again, will it be enough to make me pick up a PS4? We'll see. Remains to be seen.
Yes.
And again, I think this is another game that keeps getting constantly delayed. I think it's been delayed to this year. I don't think there's still a specific time frame, but Skull and Bones, I want
to play this so bad.
Pirate game, kind of built off the same engine that I think they used to build Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah,
Black Flag.
I just hope it doesn't suck. I want to play this game so bad.
It looks pretty good. Again, I kind of want to be able to play it and see where they take it, and it keeps staying delayed. So it's it always makes you nervous when things like that happen. But then lastly, recent development, Half-Life Alyx VR, totally badass.
I said this, I think, the last episode we recorded, but for people like Phil Spencer and anybody saying that VR is a gimmick, the next Half-Life is coming out in VR. That's not a gimmick.
Yeah. Technically, this is Half-Life 3, so the game everyone's been looking forward to is now.
Yeah, it's gonna be on VR. That is not a gimmick. That is here to stay. That's cool. I mean, for what I'm looking forward to, mainly it's a lot of the same things. Like you as well. You didn't mention I'm also looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. Again,
yes. I think I forgot. I skipped over that. Yeah, you're right.
You did, so I covered it for both of us.
Excellent, good.
It's CDPR, and they've been an insta buy for me since the first Witcher, which I remember playing at release. A lot of people don't like it now. It is very dated, but it is one of those if you're just in love with the Witcher story and the world, and all that, especially if you read the books, The Witcher 1 takes place immediately after the books end. I don't want to spoil the books for those who haven't read it yet, but the games start the next chapter in Geralt's life. So it really does make it worth it, especially if you read the books. You're going to be like, oh shit, maybe I should go play The Witcher 1. Get it off of GOG.com, also run by CDPR. So yeah, definitely worth it. Yeah, but a lot of the same things, Ghost of Tsushima, Half-Life Alyx, Skull and Bones, Star Citizen, I'll wait till they release it. Yeah, VR Boneworks I'm definitely going to give a look to. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great year for gaming, or at least a great first quarter for gaming. Jesus. I mean, everything is just coming out, but, around March, we got another Total War in the works, Troy. So that ought to be in. Yeah, they just kind of dropped this the other day. It looks great, focusing again on the Trojan War. And I think the question mark now is, are we going to get a little, Herculean fantastic with it, which would be really cool, actually. Because if you played the Total War Warhammer series, that was like their first foray into doing a Total War game with fantastic elements, and they are masterpieces. I cannot recommend both enough. They're just great games. I just reinstalled Warhammer 2 Total War the other day, or Total War Warhammer 2. It's very, just to play it again, because it's that good. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to a lot of the same stuff. Stuff that I've played, and so it's going to be, again, just going to be a really great year. But yeah, I think what we'll do, I wound up just throwing out the question of the bye week, doing similar with all of you. I wanted to know what y'all thought was your games of 2019, or actually, I just asked what your game of 2019 was, and I'm really excited to hear what you all thought, and I'll just go to the save point. We had one reply on this because I sent it out late, and that is my bad. But that's my pal Aaron for his game of 2019, Destiny 2, because it's fun and you pew-pew all the things. Storyline is decent. Hey, rock on. Like I said, that was on my list too. I thought they did a very good job with it this year. Okay, so let's start with, we have a lot, for us, we have a lot of voicemails. We have 5 voicemails tonight. Whew. So, we're gonna go through them. And, let's start with wait, what is this one? Blah, 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 blah. Did we play? No, well, did we play Los's message, in the last episode about favorite Christmas movie?
I do not recall.
No, I think he called after the last show. So you know what? Los, you called after our last show. Now we have 6 voicemails tonight. So he had a question for us, so let's throw this on there. This is Los from the Talking Place podcast.
What is up, guys? This is Los from the Talking Place. That's my thing. Look at that. I can say that again. Yeah, I'm just calling, saying what's up, saying hi. Here doing my thing, walking the dog. And yeah, I'm calling because I wanted to say that I'm worried about you, Al. I'm worried because of this whole VR thing you got going on. Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of love for VR, and I get it. It's awesome, and I understand it. But have you ever seen The Lawnmower Man? I mean, that's like pretty close to what the vibes I'm getting from you, and it's cool. It's cool though. You know, I know you love it. I know you're enjoying it. So you keep on enjoying it. Just know when to pull yourself out of the machine.
Am I still in?
I like you. I don't want to have to drag you out, and you know, you'd be all computerized and shit. But yeah, so happy holidays. I don't know no question to answer. I'm sorry. I've been pretty lazy with a lot of stuff. So, you know, the holidays got me backed up with a lot of stuff. So yeah, I'm just calling to say hi, saying be careful of VR. Happy holidays. And I hope it's all gravy. Thank you for putting out the good shows and for being good community hosts. So peace out. If you want to answer a question, what is the favorite Christmas movie? So there you go. There's my question. Have a good show. Peace out.
Thank you, Los. This was before the Christmas holiday, and I think it was after we recorded. All right, Nick, favorite Christmas movie? Go ahead.
Oh man. I'd have to go with like Home Alone. I always like
that's a good one.
I think it's something I always associate with kind of a great Christmas movie. It's got good laughs. It's got John Williams score, and it's like I don't think there's anyone who doesn't like that. So it's an easy one to put in. That's not necessarily I would say your standard. So it's not like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Frosty the Snowman type of thing.
No,
it's
great
something
pick.
Everyone can enjoy. Yeah.
I guess for me, even though I can't stand the main actor, I just think he's a pompous douche. But it is one of my favorite movies. Is Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's. We watch it every year. It makes me laugh every time, and it just shows us that Randy Quaid was that guy all along.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a great one. Thanks, Los. That was your pre-holiday call. We have other calls from Los. So we'll just go on to the next one. Who is our next caller? Who could it be?
Happy New Year! What's going on, gentlemen? New Year, here we go! Lots of excitement!
You gotta love Fred.
So I hear it's the year of the rat. Well, that's wrong, okay? I'm going to tell you right now it's wrong. Just cross that out, go to all those calendars, I'll tell you that, put a big X through it, and
It's gonna be the year of the Fred.
It's the year of the mustard bottle. Yeah, big year, here we go. Woo! Al, what's wrong with you, man? You're very able to the question, and then just hours before the show, you add on more layers to the question, Al. Al, come on, man. We're not all made as tough as you are, Al, answering all these questions, man. You're killing us. You're killing us. All right, get to the questions, right? All right, let's go to the questions. What do I get for Christmas? Well, the brother-in-law, he lives up in that there Boston area by that Captain Mike, and he came down to my neck of the woods, huh? And he brought with him a couple bottles, just a couple bottles of beer, He brought me 2-3 bottles of beer from up there in Boston. So I got some beer. I'm not drinking now. I'm just crazy like this all the time.
No, you are drinking now.
Lots of games. I got that Luigi's Mansion 3. Ooh. Yeah. Going through the mansion, getting the ghost. Woo. I got Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Shoot him, kill him, and be classified as a homicidal maniac by the people who don't play games. Yeah, I'm coming to get you. Yeah. What else did I get? Let me think. I got a sweater. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I guess I'll throw that on when it's cold outside. I don't know. There's another game. What the heck was that game? I got that Star Wars game. How could I forget about that? I'm liking that. That's pretty cool. I think that's all right. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm not too far in it. Maybe about 45 minutes, an hour into it or something. I'm enjoying it. I like it. But the best game ever, well, okay, maybe not ever, but a really great game is this Watam, Watam. It's a digital game only on the PlayStation 4. And I gotta say, I've never laughed so hard, laughed so much, and enjoyed playing a game like that in my life now.
Wow.
Of course, this game isn't for everyone because I can see people saying, that's dumb, man, it isn't dumb. But me, it entertains me to the life of me. I'm sitting there playing it, laughing. My wife keeps looking at me saying, how old are you? And I don't know, age don't matter. If I'm laughing, I'm having a good time. That's all that it is. I'm telling you, man, let me sum it up real quick. These things come in waves of different things, and, well, that doesn't make sense, but, anyway, you're on this thing, and these things will show up, and you get to be a tree, and then the tree eats people, and then when it eats you, it comes out as fruit, and then you fall off the tree, and then like you're an apple or something like that, and then a mouth will eventually come up, and then the mouth eats you, and the mouth poops out. Now you have a poop thing running around, and the next thing you know, this toilet bowl shows up, and he's chasing you, trying to flush you. Dude, it is just hilarious! Good times, great times. I don't know if we're going to get to this second.
No, you won't, but we'll go. Who's the next one? I gotta check that out. Watam. That sounds interesting. All right, next Fred call.
It's all your fault, Al. I told you I wouldn't get to all these questions. You slam these questions on us like this. But anyway, let's go on to the next question. What was my game of the year and why? I don't know. That's kind of tough. I don't know. Crackdown 3. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, what the hell are you talking about, Fred?
Crackdown 3. I really was. I loved 1. 2 was just like the ultimate letdown. Then I saw 3 was coming out, so I put hope back in. I had big, high expectations, and yeah, I do have Game Pass. Isn't it weird? I have Game Pass, and I haven't played Crackdown 3. I haven't even downloaded it yet. I was this big hype fan for Crackdown 3, and I haven't even downloaded it. That's so crazy. Game of the year, though, I don't know. I don't know if anything really sat with me that great this year. I mean, did it? I don't know. I mean, I'm getting towards the end of Gears 5. I'm liking it. I don't know if
It was
it's
a good
game of
game.
year quality though, but I'm liking it. It's good. It's good for what it is. If you're a Gears fan, it's interesting. It's entertaining, right? Yeah. I don't know. What was it? What was I
That's a
looking
good one.
forward to? I mean, everybody's looking forward to Cyberpunk. Let's hope that lives up to its hype that it's bringing to it. Beyond that, I mean, I'm not even sure what's coming out next year, but I mean, there's probably a lot of games, and I don't know. I just hope it's a great year for gaming. How's that? Let's
You got
just
it.
have another great, fantastic year for gaming, and we'll see what these two system things bring out with all the info when they finally land that. Let's hope that isn't a bank breaker.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably really went flat on that second question. I apologize, Al. I'll try to get better, buddy. I'll try to get better. I apologize. Anyway, let's end it there. I hope everyone had a great holiday season. Stay safe, be good. And as always, Arriba brought the turkey, and I'm going to say, Arrivederci.
Arrivederci, Fred. No, Gears 5 was a great game. It didn't make my Game of the Year list, but I've had a lot of fun with that, and that's a lot of fun multiplayer. It is also on Game Pass. Check it out. No, thank you for the call, Fred. Always appreciate it, and I'm glad. You mentioned that Wadham game on Twitter the other day, and I was just like, man, I love games that I can laugh at, so I've got to check that out. It just sounds like a dumb, silly platformer, which is even better, so why not? All right, let's see who our next caller is.
Fellas, how do? This is Captain Mike from Bad Fodder Figures. I'm sure your favorite podcast.
Yes.
Anyways, I digress. Let's see, favorite game of 2019 has to be The Outer Worlds, as mentioned last week on BFF. Love the story. Brought me back to some Fallout feelings. Would have given it to Borderlands 3 if not for all the technical snafus that I had with that game. Now, moving on to 2020, of course, the new consoles. Got to be looking forward to those, seeing what they're going to bring and all that stuff. As far as game-wise, Cyberpunk got to be on the top of the list for sure. Like everybody else. Boo-hoo, kind of boring, right? But, you know, The Witcher 3 was such a great game that Cyberpunk's going to be just as good, I believe. So those are my choices. Gentlemen, carry on. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Mike, and I appreciate the call, and my sympathies on the computer crash. For those who don't know, aside from BFF being my favorite podcast, the Bad Fodder Figures, I do love those guys. Their command and control computer took a shit, so they're kind of on a hiatus until they get a new one. So I'll keep an ear to the ground, and as soon as they're back up and running, I will continue to push them. But I'll even do it at the end of the podcast. Still, if you haven't heard them yet, go check them out. Their episodes are great. They just celebrated their 100th episode too. So, no, I think Nick and I are both with you, Mike. Outer Worlds was just a hit, man. That was such a perfect game and a perfectly executed game. I didn't run into a single bug or a single crash to desktop with that. So, that's saying something. All right, we've got two more. Who could it be from?
You know, this is Los.
Los!
I'm here. I walk the dog a lot when I'm leaving voicemails for shows and stuff. And, you know, I do it because that's my quiet time. You know, there's no screaming kids. There's no screaming wife.
Oh.
You know, that's what I'm doing. So, you know, I just called right now and I realized, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure I left a voicemail before.
You did.
You might have two. This might be the second voicemail for me. But yeah. Anyway, Happy New Year. Hope everything is good. Sorry about the two voicemail thing.
I don't care.
So the questions. I think it was, what's your favorite gift that you received for the holidays? I'm a big kid, as you may or may not know, and I love Christmas for gifts and stuff. And my favorite gift or my favorite game. I think it was also your favorite gaming thing that you did this year. I could answer that both in one answer. It's the Switch Lite. I just got it for Christmas, and I'm so sold. I'm loving it so much. It is beyond comfortable to hold in your hands, and it's like it's I don't know, it's perfect. I don't know what else to say. It's such a great little device, and it's like resparking everything for the Switch that I want to do. and yeah, so non-gaming, I would have to say it's my turntable, my record player that I picked up that my wife got me. And hey, drop that. Freaking dog eating leaves. So yeah, my record player, that sparked a whole new hobby for me. And I've been going crazy, collecting vinyls, buying vinyls, and trying to find hard to find ones. I picked up the Hamilton soundtrack from Barnes & Noble, in South Carolina that had it. And I had them ship it to me for $80, which is going for like $200-$300.
Holy shit!
You know, eBay and
nice find, Los.
I picked up a Zelda one, Hero of Time. It's the Ocarina of Time, like retold soundtrack kind of thing.
There you go, Nick.
Looking forward to picking that up, to getting that in the mail next week. And yeah, it's a whole freaking hobby. My wife got me an all-in-one, one of those big box things, and I'm returning it today.
That's a horrible place to cut off, Los, but it's good that you called back. Hold on, we got the last one. It's Los's finishing voicemail.
Okay, got cut off. So this is probably voicemail number 3. My bad. Yeah, this is me acting like a jerk, like your message says.
Hey, we're not devious, Mr. Matt.
I'm trading in. I'm returning the all-in-one big box record player, and I'm picking up a smaller, compact, more advanced, introductory turntable. It's an Audio Technica. I'm post pictures of it and talk about it for sure, but I'm doing that today probably. But anyway, have a good show. Have a happy new year, and I hope all is good. Peace out.
Sorry. Peace out, Los. And yeah, dude, you can call in 4 times. I don't care. It just gives us more stuff to talk about.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I can totally relate. I got a turntable like 8 years ago, and it was an obsession with me for a solid year. And I'll tell you what, man, that was before, wife and kids. That was a fun goddamn year, because I tracked down some obscure stuff, game soundtracks, a signed Typo Negative record that I got. Well, a Typo Negative record that I got signed by the band right before Pete Steele died. Just I get it, and there's something fun about it. I don't know if it's any better phonetically, audially or anything like that. I'm not one of those people. I maybe could tell a little bit of a difference, but it's just fun because it's one of those like it's a device, like it's not like a computer where you could sit down and put music in and then go do other things. When you're going to sit down and put a record on, you're sitting down to like listen to music or whatever you're doing. You're like, music is going to be the main component to that. Even if it's washing dishes, the music, is what you've put on for that time, and you just pay more attention to it, I think. So yeah, I get it, man. Have fun. That's a hell of a grab on the Hamilton soundtrack. The only reason I know is you were talking about getting it, and I started looking it up. And I was like, holy shit, that's really expensive. So it's cool that you found that. And that's a great soundtrack. I've listened to it. I've yet to see the musical, but it's a really good soundtrack. So that was a hell of a find by you. Other than that, I want to just thank everybody for calling in. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Los. We really appreciate it. And it was nice to hear, again, I think 2019... was a very surprisingly good year for gaming. Didn't have a very strong start, but the stuff that came out this year was really, really solid. There's a lot of good titles. I mean, if you just look at games that released in 2019, many of them are really recommended playing. I mean, Bloodstained was great. Death Stranding was great. I mean, it was just a good year. Obviously, I think we're all on the train that 2020 is probably going to knock it out of the park, at least the first quarter with everything that's coming out, so... Other than that, I think this will wrap it up, our first episode of the new year. Nick, thank you for such a thoughtful list and sharing what you're looking forward to. I forgot to plug this before we did the voicemails, but if you want to leave us a voicemail, even though it is the new year, and tell us your favorite game of 2019, you can do so at 610-810-1654, and we'll happily talk about it on our next episode. Other than that, we'll move on for shout-outs. Nick, anything you want to shout out, promote, whatever?
Can't think of anything right now. Again, tomorrow I'm going to be trying to check out Rogan on VR.
I gotta watch that.
Of that.
I mean, if you're streaming that.
What was that?
Are you streaming that?
Yes, I will be streaming that, so you can join in the escapade.
I plan on it. I follow you on Twitch.
Excellent. Other than that, I think that's about it for now.
Excellent. Well, I just then want to take a minute, wish everybody a Happy New Year, all the listeners, all our friends in the podcast community, the everyday gamers. Love you guys. Thanks. We did some talking with Meef J and some of the other crew throughout the holiday, and just, again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all you. Love you guys. Holy Headshot, that whole crew. Bad Fodder Figures, you guys are fucking killing me, man. Like, you're half the reason I look forward to Monday, the other half's my job. So now it's like, well, shit, what am I going to listen to tomorrow? So, Mike, I'm going to start a GoFundMe. It's not going to go anywhere because I don't promote well. But I'm just telling you that it's the thought that counts for your new command and control. I can't wait for you guys to get back on the air. Love you guys, and can't wait for the Bad Fodder Figures to get back in the saddle. Again, if you haven't heard them, they got 100 episodes. They're all fun to listen to. Look for the Stacking Paper one. That's a classic. You'll laugh. It's great. We love Matt. But, again, Mike, Eric, Jeremy, Matt, Happy New Year to you guys. And to the crew at Married to the Games, Happy New Year to y'all. I hope it's a great year. Tap the Craft, Danny Luce, and the co-hosts over there. Hope you all have a great New Year. Check out that podcast if you're into beer. Very educational, very fun. It's another little obsession of mine I listen to during my workday, and I enjoy very much. Other than that, if you want to get in touch with us, we're on Facebook at The Save Point, tiny.cc/SavePoint. We talk games in there all the time, and actually it's a place where you can learn about some stuff that you may not have heard before. And I just want to push this real quick. My pal Josh pasted a link on the 2nd of January called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rescue Palooza. And I don't know if it's done with a Nintendo engine from the arcade game or one of those, but it's basically like a giant game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where there's like, it's pizza time. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Rescue Palooza is a free fan-made beat-em-up based on TMNT. It's an update and homage to the classic NES titles, with tons of characters playable for the first time. 60 playable characters, 17 stages, 4 bonus stages, 4-player local co-op, and more. Check out the Save Point. I'm telling you, like, I have this installed. I just gotta play it. Like, I never would have knew about this if it wasn't for the Save Point. Other than that, you can email us, theretrorents@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at theretrorents. You can hit me up at retrorentsal. Hit Nick up at Black Eagle Ops. And then we're on Twitch. I never stream. I'm to Twitch what Kyle is to Twitter. But I really am planning on trying to do it more. I'm retrorentsal on Twitch. Nick is Black Eagle Ops. If VR and Rogue sound interesting to you, tune into Nick's stream tomorrow. What is it, like around 8:30ish usually?
I'll start around 8. By 8:30 I'll definitely be rolling.
All right, 8:30. Check it out if you want to check out Rogan VR. Nick's a great streamer to watch. He's fun to watch. He's entertaining. And he's really great if he plays horror games. Horror games, you gotta
watch me jump a mile high.
I gotta watch you one time and record a soundbite of when you jump. The is classic.
I think one of my clips is when I was doing a VR scary one, and I literally, it felt like I jumped a mile high.
Other than that, just a shout out to you, man. This was, I believe, your first full year on the podcast, and
yeah, you're right.
And you have been an awesome addition to the show. And really, it's just my own selfishness. We used to do this all the time, so this is like my chance to sit and bullshit video games with you.
That's right.
So it's been really great having you on. I look forward to many more episodes. And other than that, everybody, I want to wish you all a very happy new year. Let's have a great 2020. There's a ton of good games coming out, so we'll end like we usually do, and that is have fun, play games, don't be dicks.
Peace.
See ya.